Okay, I want to welcome back our returning viewers and thank all the new ones for checking in. This interview is a series with athletes graduating in the class of 24 to help the coaches get to know them and help in the recruiting process. Before we jump into the interview, I want to thank everyone who's subscribed so far, and we're grateful for your support. If you're interested in our guests' athletic accomplishments, check the link in the bottom of in the description of the video, and you'll get a sense of what they've been able to do as an athlete. We're here to learn more about them as a person than their athletic accomplishments, though. Today we have Rowan McDonald from Bonny Eagle High School in Standish, Maine, the first of our U.S. athlete guests. Rowan, thanks for joining us today, and how's everything going?
Thank you, Michael. I'm doing pretty great right now.
That's good to hear. So let's go ahead and jump right in and find out a little bit about you.
All right.
Outside of track, what are some of the hobbies that you have and things that you like to do to relax?
So obviously track takes up a lot of my time, but whenever I'm not training, I would say my biggest pastime is I enjoy cycling on the weekend to kind of stay active, even on my off days. I'll go on long bike rides on my road bike from the 1970s with the death grip shifter bars. Um, I'll head down the rail trail near my house. It'll usually be about 10 miles or so. Gets the wind in my hair. So I'd say that's my favorite thing to do. If I'm not doing that and the weather's nice, I'd say I enjoy going swimming at the lake near my house. But I'm not a great swimmer, so obviously cycling is number one for me.
Very cool, very cool. And for those who don't know, they used to have a lot more hair for the wind to go through. The head, the new haircut is looking sharp, and it probably helps your times a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. I used to have, my hair used to be about a foot long. I think I cut it right after indoor nationals. It would have been about April, and about half of it was whenever we do core work, it would start dragging on the ground and annoying me. And then whenever I had a workout in the wind, it would start blowing my face. So I'm pretty glad I went for the cut.
Okay, great. Okay, so what potential majors are you interested in studying in while you're in college?
So right now, I feel like I'm pretty set on mechanical engineering as my number one major. For my bachelor's degree, my intent right now is to kind of pivot from mechanical engineering to aerospace for my master's and ultimately go into that field. But I'm mostly interested in mechanical engineering because I've always been interested in the engineering field. And I feel like mechanical engineering is a great place to start. So that way, if I want to change my major, I can go into something similar.
That is a great plan, and well thought out, and it's impressive that you've given you're planned yourself out so far in advance, and sort of have a path that not only will take you in a good direction, but one that also gives you a ton of options. I mean, you can go almost anywhere with mechanical engineering because everything has parts to it and they all move. So, I mean, that's, you've got a lot of really good options for you academically and professionally on the other end of college, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
So when you're training and racing, do you like to be in the lead, the middle, or the back of the pack?
So when I'm doing workouts, I kind of like to lead because I can like set my pace and stay consistent. If I were to race for a time, I kind of do something similar. So when you do 400 repeats, 1,000 repeats, any of that on the track at practice, I'll be out in front as much as my ability, as much as the workout allows. When I'm racing, I just want to say I've been burned a few too many times by going out in front. I've had a couple of races where I've just lost the kick battle. So my new favorite position, I'd say, is middle of the pack, and I like to kind of work my way towards the front towards the end of the race.
And some of the videos that I've watched, particularly over this last year, from indoors into outdoors, I've seen you do that really well, where you've held back a little bit early in the race and then put on some really strong kicks at the end. I believe one of them was Penn, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, so my two biggest situations in which I reeled myself into first would have been Penn relays and outdoor nationals. I think Penn, I probably came back from a 25-meter gap, And then outdoor nationals, I was just a little bit off of Clayton Stoyle, who was leading. Um, but I wasn't leading either race until the last quarter or so of the race. I was happy where I was in the middle.
Cool. And that shows a lot of confidence in your racing ability when you're able to do that. Not to feel like you can give somebody a little bit of a gap, and you're like, oh, I can still go get them.
I mean, yeah, I had faith in my conditioning and everything, and I had faith in my speed at the end.
Good. So, what accomplishment outside of track are you most proud of achieving?
I had to think about this for a little bit. I would say my proudest accomplishment would be during lockdown, I mixed up my own hydroponic solution, which is kind of it's like a fertilizer for plants, and I grew a tomato from a seedling all the way to maturity using only that solution. So I submerged just the roots. Wasn't any soil involved or anything. I attached a fish pump to oxygenate the roots and kind of give it room to breathe. And I just set it up in this jar full of that solution, and I bubbled it, and it grew over the course of a couple months, and I had some really good tomatoes by the end of it.
Very cool. I'm glad you explained that because I knew what you were talking about, but some people might not when you start talking about hydroponics and how you can grow, and you can have an entire greenhouse full of hydroponics and not have a grain of sand involved.
Yeah,
Very, very cool. So not only a mechanical engineer, but a high level agricultural engineer as well.
in my spare time. Yeah,
When you're not biking, swimming, and race walking.
yeah.
Great. So wrapping up here on our main question. So what is your favorite vacation spot and why?
So I don't know if it would really qualify as a vacation because I only visited there as part of my trip to U20s, but I think the spot I'd most like to take a vacation is Vancouver. And the reason why is a traditional vacation spot like the Bahamas or like any of those islands, like you kind of go there and you go to the beach and it's like it's hot and it's nice, but you're basically there to go swimming or cool off in the air conditioning. But Vancouver, the weather is just beautiful. It's like 75 degrees all the time, and there's plenty of stuff to do like cycling. You can train pretty easily. There's gorgeous views, and if you want to go swimming, you can. The ocean's right there.
And they've got a really famous resident who is becoming Mr. Fourth Place. I know he doesn't want to hear that, but a Canadian by the name of Evan Dunphy is native to Vancouver, that area as well.
Yeah, that's correct.
So is there anything else that you want to share with us today?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, well, great. I want to thank you very much for spending this time with us. I know you got a busy schedule, a lot of training and a lot of science and engineering and lots of academic pursuits. Pretty impressive to hear. So we'll go ahead and we'll wrap this up. I want to thank everyone else for joining us. Remind them to hit the subscribe button, leave their comments, and to have a great day.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.